Hi, folks. This is Frank Maselli. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk to you about my coaching services. I think these are going to be a pretty important part of the White Glove University, and I wanted to give some of you, at least those of you who are new to White Glove, a feeling for the kinds of things that I do for these advisors that, frankly, I don't think they can get anyplace else. Now, look, there's a lot of coaches out there, but very few people can match my experience and depth in this process. And that sounds very self-serving, but I don't have a lot of time to explain this to you, so I need to cut to the chase, and we'll skip the humility for now. So let me just give you a little bit about my background. I started in the business 37 years ago doing seminars, and I've done over 4,000 public seminars in every possible venue and in every possible structure with every imaginable topic, with almost every type of audience you can think of. So I wrote a book. I wrote a best-selling book. It's now in its fourth edition called Seminars: The Emotional Dynamic. And if you haven't read it, you probably should spend a couple of minutes with it because it's pretty good stuff. It's generally considered to be one of the Bibles in the industry on how to do seminars. And it's gotten some rave reviews over a number of years. I freshened it up pretty recently to include a lot of the white glove stuff as well. So that's my background. I was an advisor. I was a manager. I ran a mutual fund family. And I know that sounds a little strange, but as the director of a fund family, one of my additional jobs was to go out and do public seminars for my wholesalers and for our clients. And that's where I did thousands of these things all over the country, every state in the country except been to Mississippi, I've been to North Dakota, I haven't been to South Dakota, and I haven't been to Wyoming. I think those are the only two states that I've missed. So anyway, dinners, breakfasts, lunches, educational, you name it. Okay, so lots of seminar experience, 4,000 seminars, and very few people can duplicate that, frankly. That's number one. So Laura asked me to cover a couple of things. How many seminars? So quite a few. What are the reasons that some advisors reach out to me? Well, the biggest reason, and this doesn't surprise you, is that they're struggling in some way. And what I'm typically seeing is advisors who have done a white glove event, maybe one, maybe two, maybe a small group, and they're not getting the kind of results they want. And the kind of results that we really want to strive for are a minimum, bare minimum of 50% appointment ratio. Okay? If they're not at 50% appointment ratio, something's wrong. And 90% of the time, that's very fixable with a little bit of help. Okay? You would be amazed. Well, maybe you wouldn't be amazed. I don't know. But it amazes me how often the problems that these advisors have are so simple to fix. They're just not that complicated. Now, some people have more difficult challenges, and that's where we go into some excruciating detail. And I always ask them before we do the coaching session, how tough do you want me to be? Because I really spend a lot of time. I watch every video, if they're video sessions, I watch every video a minimum of 2 times, most of the time 3 and 4 times. And I take copious notes, and in many cases I do time sync notes so that they can go back at the specific moment in time, watch the video, and see for themselves the thing that I'm pointing out to them. But I ask them, do you want me to beat you up? And 90% of the time they go, yes, help me, please, tell me anything. So I really, I give it to them. I give it to them straight. And I give them alternatives. You see, that's the key. The key is there's no one right way to succeed with seminars and workshops. There's many ways to succeed. And what I try to do is I try to help the advisor find their way, because their way is going to be different than anybody else that they've seen. Now, they've watched some videos. They've watched some great people at White Glove. They've watched some great advisors that we have on our, our YouTube that you send them. They've watched some of my stuff. They can't duplicate that. They just can't duplicate it most of the times. So what I try to help them do is to find their path, use their style, and be as good as they can be. Okay? So, for example, I've had advisors who were deathly, and I say deathly, okay, deathly boring to the point where you just want to run from the room screaming, okay? Well, what do you do with that? Well, you liven that up in some way if you can, and if you can't, then you play with it. Then you teach them how to use boring and how to use that scientist, Mr. Spock delivery to their advantage. I will help them find their advantage in whatever they're capable of doing. That's the cornerstone to my coaching. There is no Maselli coaching program. There's no must do it this way, must tell stories this way. No, it's their way, and I will help them bring out the best in what they can do. Okay, let me just read this. What are the most common errors? Common errors are overly salesy. That's a very big error, and we can correct that. A lot of them come from a world where they've got to make a sale, and where they're not looking for long-term client relationships. They're looking for a quick annuity sale, and that pays the bills. And I understand that, and we'll help them do that. But they're too salesy, and when you're too salesy, you can kiss it goodbye. I mean, that's the kiss of death. As soon as you start selling a product at a workshop, they're done, and we'll help them understand that. That's a big problem. Going too long, being too boring, telling stupid stories. Storytelling is a mind-boggling problem, in my opinion. There's coaches out there that are telling them to do these stories, tell these life stories, and it's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. Whoever's given this advice has never done public seminars. Or, let me rephrase that, whoever's been telling them to do this, it must work for them, okay? And that's the fun part about this, is that somebody, a charismatic storyteller can do that. The average advisor can't do that. And when the average advisor tries that, it sounds very self-serving, and it sounds self-aggrandizing, and it's boring as hell, and the audience is going, why is this guy telling me this stupid story? Okay, so you get the idea. Another mistake is they don't do a power close. They don't do a good opening. They don't do a good close. The close is a very, very critical part. We've helped them with that. I've written a few things. I've published a few videos. So those are common mistakes. All right, so what sort of advice do I give them? The advice is customized. Everybody's a little different, and it's based on what I see from the video. It's based on what we discuss in our conversation. It's based on what I can hear from them over the phone, okay? Because I can pick up on their trends, and I can help them with that. So it's totally customized. There's no specific advice that I give them. But I do something called an emotional checklist. And that goes with the book. The subset of the book is the 9 critical emotions. What emotions must you hit in that room in order to drive business? And there's 9 of them. We call them the lurch face emotions. And if you don't read the book, then what the hell are you doing? I don't understand. You need to read the book like tonight, okay? That would be my recommendation if I were your sales manager. I would do that like immediately. So that's number 1. But the 9 emotions, I do an emotional checklist on on their workshop. Did they hit these emotions, and how effective were they at hitting? If you hit all 9 emotions, you're going to be at 80% appointment ratio or better. My best stuff was 110% appointment ratio. I would set appointments with people who didn't even come to the seminar. They just heard about it. And you've got some advisors out there, by the way, who are that good. And there are a handful of white glove advisors who just kill it. They kill it. They're fantastic, and they're natural, and their style is different than mine, and just to some degree. So that's great, and you've got videos on these people. Wonderful stuff. Let's see. What advice? What does coaching with you look like? Typically, it's a phone call. It's a couple of phone calls, and I'll email them. I'll send them some stuff that I've created, and it's just contact, and we do it as much as they need. It's very, very flexible, and I try to make myself always available to them. And I tell them, look, you call me. I don't care if it's 8 o'clock at night. You call me. You're getting ready to do a workshop, although nobody's doing 8 o'clock workshops. But let's say you're in California, and you're doing a webinar, or you're doing a dinner event of some kind. You need help. You call me. I don't care if it's, I don't care what time it is. So that's fine. Let's see. What does coaching look like? What difference does your coaching, hang on, I can't read this. What difference does your coaching make? Okay, well, I think you'll have to ask them. I don't keep a record of results, of comments that I've gotten. Obviously, people are pleased. People have been pleased, I think, in general. Some people would tell you, I'm sure, that it's been a revelation for them, and that's wonderful. Very few times I can't even think of any time where an advisor has said, this sucks, this really didn't help me at all. I can't think of any example like that. I will help them. It's that simple. I mean, I've got the ability to help almost anybody, unless they're really dense. I haven't run into too many people like that. I have run into some people who really thought they were great and they weren't. And I just let the numbers speak for themselves. Somebody who comes at me, and you'll know a lot of advisors have these gigantic egos, and when they come at me with this big ego, my only question is, did you set appointments with 75% of the room? Well, no. How many did you get? None. Okay, let's think about that. Could it be you? And they always want to blame marketing. You see, that's the funny thing, and you know this. They always want to blame white glove. Oh, the people weren't qualified. There was nobody qualified in the room. Yeah, okay, because, you know, a lot of people with no money are going to workshops. I mean, of course they were qualified. People don't go to a workshop. They don't sign up for a webinar if they're not concerned about something. They won't waste the time, okay? But this is important, and I tell advisors this. I hit them right in the face with this, okay? I said, look, the only thing that a prospect could tell you to guarantee that you would never bother them again is, I don't have any money. If you tell a financial advisor, look, I ain't got any money, the advisor's not going to stay with you. They're not going to hound you. If the advisor thinks you have money, they'll never let you go. But so you tell them, no, I really don't have any money. I'm sorry. We just came for some information. We don't have any money. Yeah, baloney. They've got money. They just didn't like you. Okay, you screwed up in the workshop. And I have a nice way of saying that. I know I'm sounding very obnoxious here, but I get advisors to come to Jesus very quickly. Okay, so how many coaching sessions do White Glove members get with you? The university members get unlimited coaching, as far as I know. I mean, that's the contract. If they abuse it, I'll take care of that. It's not a problem. I've never had anybody. I've only had one advisor who was really abusive with the coaching. Just wasn't doing what I told him. Just kept coming back, and wasn't implementing anything that I suggested, and just wanted more and more. He just wanted a shoulder to cry on. Finally, I said, look, this isn't for you. You're not doing anything I'm telling you. So why are you wasting your money? I mean, it's unbelievable. I generally don't try to talk them out of workshops, because that's the business we're in. We don't make any money when they walk away, and I don't want them to walk away. That's the key. The benefit of coaching is that we keep them. Okay, it's very hard to get an advisor to agree to do a workshop. They're spending a lot of money on this stuff. They'll take a flyer, to see, but if they don't get results, they're gone. And when they're gone, that's wasted time and energy on your part. Okay, it's horrible. It's a nightmare. It's like a one and done. You don't want that. You don't want one and done. One and done means they made a mistake somehow and they're not getting help. So if I can help them, we can keep them. That's the bottom line. You get that, okay? If you give me an advisor, I almost guarantee you, as a professional, that I can help them, okay? And if I can't help them, I'll find somebody who can help them. I can't imagine who that would be, but I'll find somebody, okay? Bottom line is, the coaching works. It's very valuable, I think. I put a lot of time and energy into it, and I'm very passionate about it. I love this more than anything in the world, and I've got the chops to make this useful. So, from your perspective, as a white glove, what do you call yourselves, account executives? Sorry I haven't met you all. I welcome you to the team, by the way. It's a very exciting thing you're doing here. Some of you know me pretty well, but if you need help, because I've worked with salespeople in this industry for a long, long time, if you've got somebody on the line, you want to make a special connection, you really got them on the fence, and you want somebody to help push that over the goal line, call me. Reach out to me. I'll help you. Okay? We're all in this together. The more successful you are, the more successful I'll be, and vice versa. So anyway, that's the basic story. If you want more details, reach out to me anytime. Talk to some of the folks that have been around a while. I don't always agree with everything that other coaches say, and I'll be very honest. I try to give alternatives and options, but I think I can help tremendously, and I hope you take advantage of it. So thanks very much. Reach out anytime. Talk to you all soon.